Welcome to Borderless Conversations. I'm here with David from Legacy Lounge, and today we're going to be going over tips and drinks for bartenders. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Could you give us a little introduction of yourself?
My name is David Whitaker. I am the head bartender for Soul Food House and Legacy Lounge and co-owner of both. And I enjoy serving people.
Pleasure to have you here. So for how long have you been bartending?
Let's see, maybe since 2007, so over 10 years.
10 years.
Over 10 years. I can't really, I don't know. Been mixing drinks since a child. Non-alcohol drinks.
So what motivated you to move to Japan to pursue bartending?
Nothing motivated me to move to Japan to pursue bartending, but when friends of ours were moving back to Japan from America, they invited us to come visit. So we came to visit, and then we wound up doing a youth mission trip, and then we became missionaries. And now, almost 20 years later, we own a restaurant and a lounge. And I started making drinks more frequently with the restaurant because I had excess alcohol when we first partnered with our restaurant co-owner that has passed on, but he had excess alcohol. I wanted to use it and started making drinks. I had already been making drinks at one of my other friends' places, so it got me to hone my skills on what drinks are good, what drinks don't work, and I grew to love it a whole lot to the point that my wife and my staff don't always like me because I experiment incessantly and I create drinks and alcohol mixtures, and they're everywhere.
Can you please tell us about your bartending journey in Japan?
So, long ago, feels like forever ago, my friend had a bar in Ikebukuro, and I was doing music events there and helping him out. So for different events, he would have me help him bartend, and he taught me about like party bartending versus doing regular bartending, drink making, which they're completely different formats for how people receive or order drinks. And it helped me understand like the processing and the speed a drink should be made. So I live by the 1 cup rule that he taught me, which allows for customers to get the drink they want but not waste the drink they have just to hurry and get another drink because it's a timed drinking session with Nomi Hodai. And with regular bartending, to take care of the customer and know how to make the drink correctly so that they enjoy the drink they get.
Okay. From there, what did you do after that?
I worked on opening my own. Initially, it was going to be a music cafe. It turned into a restaurant. And I took the skills that I was already gifted with from my friend and applied them to my restaurant and learned how to do additional things such as serving wine correctly, because we were partnered with the Australian wine and food restaurant when we first opened. So I just added skill upon skill and kept going to make sure the customers were happy.
How was the process of getting a restaurant here in Japan?
Hard. I can't. Hard, but very educational. So when we started, we knew we wanted to do it, but we didn't know what steps were required. And Our first attempt didn't work because we had no clue of everything that was required. After we didn't open the first one, we knew what steps were required, and we could ask and get answers and ask and get answers for the things that we needed, and still had to work to find property and change my visa and go through different certifications. It was worth it.
So what would you tell an entrepreneur who's looking to starting their own business in Japan?
Do your research, ask questions, get answers, ask questions, get answers, ask more questions after you've gotten all the answers you think you need, and do research again.
So what's next for your journey in Japan?
We'll see.
So how would you define the bartending life or experience compared to Japan versus in the USA?
I'm not quite sure, because in America I didn't necessarily do bar life, and I didn't bartend in America. So this is my prime culture for bartending. Like, drinking culture is completely different. Bartending, it's a unique thing that's different for everyone, and mine is very casual but interpersonal.
Would you say the process of making drinks in Japan is similar? I know you said that you haven't had the experience in America, but based on your view, would it say similar in Japan?
It's very similar. So most bars will either do flair bartending or almost high-level art cocktails, and I don't necessarily fall into either of those categories. I make good drinks, and I don't necessarily put a lot of garnishment on it because I want people to appreciate the drink more than how it looks.
Mm-hmm. In terms of drinking etiquette, what are your tips and tricks?
Know what you like to drink or know what you don't like to drink, but sometimes trust the bartender. Because you never know what you may find that the bartender may be able to provide you that you weren't expecting that you may like.
What differences have you noticed in the work environment, like teamwork or management styles between bars in the Japanese versus USA?
Japan does a lot of solo bars. So like it's one bartender that runs one bar versus like a team where there's a bartender and a bar back. Those are usually larger restaurant or super big bars, and that's, I kind of like the solo bartender lifestyle sometimes, but sometimes I want the bar back that can help prep stuff for me, and I don't always have that. So it's like, that teamwork is kind of nice, but it comes with the cost of people wanting to organize for you, and that's tricky sometimes.
Have you noticed any customer preferences or drinking habits in each country, like cultural nuances influence the way you approach bartending?
People like what they like, so there are different alcohols that I don't necessarily like or drink, but because it's the customer's repeated request to have it, I may buy it to provide for that set of customers because it provides them some enjoyment. But I'll also use it to make a cocktail because I want to figure out how to like it.
Have Have you faced any language barriers here working in Japan as a bartender?
No. More so as a customer of bars, but that's just understanding, like getting past the fact that I'm foreign. Do you want something good to drink or not? That's it. What would you like to drink? That's the base question. If you can answer it simply in English or simply in Japanese, we can go from there and we'll get along.
Does the Legacy Lounge has a special drink?
Yes.
Could you tell us?
It's called the Ninja Man Punch.
Ooh.
And my lounge manager, Scott, makes up a blend of vodkas, ginger ale, apple juice, orange, and fruit. And it does good for the parties. It does great for the parties.
Can you share any memorable experiences you've had working as a bartender in Japan?
It's a lot. It's a whole lot. I'm flipping through my head and the amount of people I've made drinks for. I'm actually not prepared to answer this question because there's so many great experiences. Each person that I make a drink for is like, it's a joy when you get it right and you can make somebody's mood completely change. So that's my most memorable part of being a bartender. Seeing somebody come in that may be like just worried or upset and they get the drink and they're like, I'm good now.
How has your global bartending experience shaped your professional goals or aspirations for the future?
I want to teach other people, if possible, to bartend like I do. It's, yes, there's recipes, but there's also getting to know people to understand how to make the drink that is necessary for the person that's in front of you.
Thank you so much for our...
Oh, it's been a pleasure. This has been the most fun interview I've had in a long time.
Everyone, this is David from Legacy Lounge, and it's been a pleasure. My name is Kendema. Once again, thank you for tuning in. We have these flyers for bartending, drinking tips, and fine dining tricks. It'll be found on the website, and there's a QR code you can scan on your phone to get it. Thank you again.